because I'm not going to be streaming very long. I'm going to go play some video games. Let's hit this. We've been talking about changing the time, right? And doing it longer. Because 7 now feels late to me. You know what? Maybe it'll be a daylight savings thing because we move it back in the winter and the fall, and we'll move it up in the summer. How about that? But then again, we set our own rules, so we're all good. I hope everybody's Friday is going swimmingly. I'm watching people talk about Hillary Clinton seeking to run for president again. I'm watching people talk about how Biden is losing because he's too moderate. Really, is that what got him elected? That he was the moderate? He wasn't a moderate. He was a return to the BS, right? And now we've returned to the BS. And now you're trying to blame, lack of progress on moderation. He also said he knew the Senate. So he could just go back there and everybody's friends and they'll be happy to. And what has happened? Right? Didn't pass voting rights legislation. Didn't pass Build Back Better legislation. They give a giant payout to companies and corporations to rebuild bridges and stuff. So now everyone is abandoning and openly talking about if he should run again, and if he doesn't, openly talking about not just him, but his vice president. So much so that he had to come out when he should be celebrating his year anniversary of being president to shore her up and say, yeah, we are definitely running again, and she is definitely my vice president. So maybe some of these news stories are made to be news stories because you don't want to talk about things you should be talking about, like climate change. But maybe some of this stuff is just not dealing with the cards on the table, right? I don't even know what to tell you. So this just showed up in my mail. Long COVID-19 symptoms can show up immediately or months later. How to spot the signs and symptoms and what to do next. It could be here tomorrow, or it could be here in 5 years. Like, right? What kind of article is that? I'm not even going to read that. That article's like it's designed to make me crazy and to make me think everything I get is freaking COVID. Judge blocks enforcement of the federal employee vaccine mandate nationally. Who's in charge of this country? Thich Nhat Zen, Thich Thich Nhat Thich Nhat Hanh, Zen teacher who popularized mindfulness in the West, dead at 95. I used to follow his Facebook page when I was on Facebook. Yeah, he was the super young class. Actually, no, he wasn't. He was younger than Dr. King, I think. But Dr. King he was one of those guys. He was in with like Dr. King and Gandhi on the world stage of trying to get Thailand free of the communists of Mao. No, Mao was in China. Who was in Thailand? Pol Pot. So he was of that era. Hey, who rocks harder, judicial, legislative, executive branches? It looks to me like the executive branch is getting smacked around, and by the legislative branch. If anybody has all the power in America embedded in one person, it's Mitch McConnell. Right? It's supposed to be the president of the United States, the executive branch, but it's not. It's Mitch McConnell. How you doing, Biz? How you doing, Ted? That's a question from Ted Hicks. Who rocks harder, judicial, legislative, or executive? Um, Yeah, know your three branches of government. That's seventh grade stuff, right? You learned that when you're 12. Um, Couple arrested after launching hateful rant against a family, including a 10-year-old boy on a train. Here's the thing about that. They are now not playing around with these hate crime charges. So remember the Joe Manchin is king? Yeah, Joe Manchin is done though. Him and Kristen Sinema. If they would have 48 to 52, both of those, if they would have voted, if they would have stayed in party lockstep, Kamala Harris would have broke the tie and you'd have voting rights. Uh yeah, they're disloyal to the people in their party. And you can this the opposite of this is AOC, right? AOC can only get loose so much before she has to work within the party before they have her doing nothing, right? Uh, Not funding because they get money from the Democratic caucus for their election, right? And all this government apparatus that I don't really think you should be able to get. If you win your seat, it shouldn't be able to the national body to help you keep your seat. It just helps them keep power, but then they can abandon you completely too. Uh, the last time I saw the Republicans do that, it was to Gohmert, right? They didn't give him money to get reelected or anything. They kicked him off of his committee seats. It's like we don't like you, so you can't be here. But that's not the way the democracy works. And it goes back to what I said. They've shored themselves up so well against the people, all the while talking about the Constitution. There's a lot of stuff that the Constitution doesn't allow that we do, and there's a lot of stuff that are just flatly illegal that they do, like insider trading. Nancy Pelosi this past week. I say Joe Manchin is king. Those who are elected Democrats in Republican states, yeah, they want to say that, but they're still put there by Republicans in that state, and that now they look disloyal, right? Even if you're in a conservative state as a Democrat, you win a Senate seat, you still can't. I mean, unless it's a 50-50 state, it could go either way next time. That's one thing, but they're senators, right? And both states have Democratic senators. Both states have Democratic senators. So both states are really Democratic states. They just look disloyal. They just look disloyal. Uh, but you get this, right? You get open racist BS, and then the powers that be say, "Oh no, there's no racism here," and they just keep it moving. They don't fix the problem, right? And they don't do any of that. But you know that there's something else here, uh, and this is the same. Is majority leader, not minority leader. McConnell is the minority leader. They're not in control of the Congress. It's a tie. So he would be the minority leader because the Democrats are in charge. You're making me crazy. Well, yeah, yeah. He can control his caucus, right? Again, goes back to what I was saying. McConnell operates. They run it like they're mafia cartels, and everybody's unhappy. Everybody is unhappy. Everybody is unhappy. So the question it will become, what's going to give, right? You've been singing race war, and the black vote is just as good as the American vote, or something like that. What did he say? Schumer's weak. Yeah. Uh, Meatloaf died, right? He was 73. That's younger than Biden. Louis Anderson died. He was 68. That's younger than Biden. Um, yeah, GOP has a weak hand too. Smooth Panic. GOP is playing weak. Yeah, I mean, but again, they have a weak hand, but they have better soldiers, right? The soldiers stay in lockstep versus the Democrats who are at war with each other. But like I said, they if they want to stay there, they have to stay there. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Uh yeah, it's been a day. I've been fielding birthday calls. Dems want the old corruption, not the new corruption. Yeah, right. What is it? Here comes the new boss, same as the old boss. Uh Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um yeah, I'm 21 again. Uh I was gonna do yesterday and not today, and then I decided to do. This is fast becoming an every other day pod, which I'm fine with. I'm actually pretty good with an every other day pod. I was supposed to start streaming to Twitch tonight, which I still actually may make, because this stream is going to end shortly, soonly. We've only been streaming for about 15 minutes, so maybe we'll let it ride for another 15 minutes, um, and then we're going to get out of here. I might try and stream at Twitch late tonight, but right now I'm just gonna play some Bannerlord. And but if I stream to Twitch, it'll be something that I know. Uh, you look terrible for 21 though. Thank you, I appreciate that. You look great for 70. Nice, thank you. Uh, Smooth Pack says, you, "Congrats, you look terrible for 21 though, but you look great for 70." So that about sums it up. Remember, um, what are we doing this year? Man, it's been a month. My month was totally derailed by a lot of my family getting COVID, a tragedy that happened in my family. Um, I had a homie pass away, right, who I spent a lot of my 20s and 30s with. Uh, so all that was like, man, I could use a breather for the new year. Then the new year rolled around and it was 70 degrees and there was foreboding. Uh, but hope, right? Decided to give up drinking. Haven't had a drink in, I want to say, it must have been like the 7th of last month, somewhere around there. So I'm past the 1 month mark of drinking any beverage of any alcoholic beverage of any kind. But I have sort of taken up with Mountain Dew out of nowhere. Um, I think we're gonna start running and working out again and streaming more regularly. Uh, and talking politics like we used to. Uh yeah, we gotta get good at the guitar. We gotta get good at the politicking. Thanks, Biz. I appreciate the love. We gotta get we gotta get good at all the good stuff. Because I gotta tell you, man, if you are not careful, the politics, you will view them as a sport and you will hate the other team, and the other team is your fellow American citizenry, and that is not good. That is not cool. So before you hate anybody, you might want to re-pick up that writing, that poetry, get back in a band. Uh, if you like to critique shit, critique movies or TV or something, just stop watching the politics of it because it will make you really angry at your fellow man. Uh, but you shouldn't be so disengaged that you don't know what the hell is going on, right? You should know who the bad politicians are and who's the politicians who are trying to change things. You just shouldn't be so angry about it. And I was getting angry about it. Trying to disrupt your broadcast. Nah, you good. You good. Um, so yeah, I guess that is. You should change your mind 10 times a year, says Smooth Panic. Here's my thing. I'm fairly consistent. I was against Joe Biden before everybody was against Joe Biden. Um, we're gonna see what happens because, like I said, I said it day before yesterday. We're rolling into the election season now, right? It's after the Christmas season, after the holidays, after the New Year. People are gonna stretch it out somewhere around. Well, you hear rufflings about it now, but somewhere around March, this thing is gonna pick up, and somewhere around August, mark my words, Trump is gonna say he's gonna Might be earlier, but something somewhere around August. Because I think all of this, well, we're gonna arrest you. We're gonna something's got to give, and I don't think he's arrestable. I really don't. Uh, Nobody likes to admit it, but once you're the president, you're sort of beyond the law, right? You have all this built-in protections as a former head of state walking around, right? That's why when Pinochet went from Colombia to Paris for like surgery when he was old, and they insisted he'd be arrested, everybody said no, right? He's not some average dude like who had a bus driving job and now he was a head of state. And that's totally different. That's why um George Bush doesn't leave America. But if he did, nothing would happen to him, right? Nobody could say we want you to hold him and then extradite him to wherever, right? No. Now, other people don't have that luxury. Like vice president has it. But like what is his name? Henry Kissinger, who may have some immunities as a secretary of state of a government, but he was never the head of a government, right? So he doesn't have these kind of things. What's up, Brian? It's good to see you. Nixon didn't, and white supremacists want to fix this. Yeah, white supremacy. Are we even gonna go there? We can go there. Uh, I'm coming out on today on my birthday on this stream. I'm coming out against white supremacy. Yeah, see that? I am not afraid to make the bold call. Oh no! You can't say that. You'll get me banned on Twitch and YouTube. Um, yeah, none of that, none of that. Uh, yeah. So I'm trying to read some of the chat, but give me a second. Biden isn't terrible. He's just meh. Yeah, but if he's been meh for 50 years, then he promised all this stuff, and now nothing's going on. Nixon didn't, and the white supremacists want to fix that. Yeah, Nixon used white supremacy and like paranoia about blacks to like gain power, and we're still suffering from it. So did Reagan, quite frankly. But I mean, again, it was around for them to exploit, wasn't it? So there's that. How you been, Brian? Where you at? McConnell is not the new corruption. McConnell is just as old of corruption as Biden is. Um, wow, every time I catch you on the road. Um, yeah, I look. We picked these guys to do something, right? And they're acting like, oh, you got to keep us here or the world will fall apart. And my whole position is you're bad at what we sent you there to do, so we need new people to do it. No, you don't need to be there, right? The office and the place and the power goes with having been elected. It doesn't go with you. And I think their whole position is we need to stay here. Because like I said the day a couple of days ago, I think once new people get in there, they look at what the old people did, and that's what indictments come down, right? And the environment is shifting. They would rather die in office or die with their friends who did the same bad things they did, like in office, than to have like to be caught between that and the new regime. People asking questions, like you know what I mean? It's looking at like Hollywood, right? Like all those guys running through all those women, right, in Hollywood. Then all of a sudden, Me Too came around, and people went to jail. And I'm pretty sure some of those people who uh and some are up on murder. That guy from that '70s show is looking at 5 counts of rape, right? He lost his Netflix, and it's like that porn star Ron Jeremy. They got him on like 5 counts of rape, right? Because the world has shifted on you. Now people are paying attention to what you did, right? Like I can make a claim for that in the civil rights movement. People burning down buses and shooting people, right? Some people went to jail for that 10 years before this whole bus thing, nobody would have batted an eye, right? Well, my friends are judge, my friends did. Then now here come the feds, and the feds don't care who your friends are, right? Now you don't rise high enough to, and then all of a sudden, well, everybody keeps their mouth shut, not so much. Uh, but that happens all the time. There's always a cuss where all this behavior that you always got away with, all of a sudden it's not. It happened with hazing, right? It happened with hazing in colleges. You could drink somebody to death and don't tell nobody, and they'll probably fix it. But now you see the deaths, and don't tell me they weren't happening before. Uh, and now people have decided to put an end to it. And there's always some people who get caught out there. And so a lot of young people, 18, 19, been put on trial for murder, right? Of their friend, got him super drunk. One guy took a nasty header down the stairs. They just put him on the couch and danced around him while he wheezed and heaved and died because he had like a bad brain injury and was drunk. And they just was like, yeah, let them see more. But you realize they're kids. They're like 17, 18, 19. A first time away from home, right? And you hear the 911 call. Like some people are trying to do something about it because they realize what the fuck is happening over here. Oh man, so and so needs help, kind of thing. And other people are just drunk and on their business. Some people just don't care naturally, and you get that with 17 and 18-year-olds. But they just got, they got caught up in youth and rule changes. So I think the same thing is going to happen, hopefully, with this, because nothing works in this country. Everybody's protesting. People are running up in the Capitol like it's, one of those avenues on Rodeo Drive where people run up in and steal all the stuff. Do you see those videos? Crazy. Um, they'll see those, right? But then that, because things shift, times change. There was the last great train robbery, right, where the guys robbed a train, but the wire was up. So by the time they got on the train, somebody called in not the bank robbery. They called in uh the next town over that the bank had been robbed, and by the time the guys got out of town, there was a posse on them, right? So then they stopped robbing banks because the wire. And then I think the last great train robbery was very similar to that as well. Um, I think cars played a part, but I forget. Anyway, yeah, man, it is a thing. So, I mean, we're not gonna go through too much. Just don't go crazy, man. Yeah, watching the weather roll in here. It's about to snow. Brian Landry claimed responsibility for Gabby Petito's death in a notebook, says the FBI. Yeah, who else would have killed her? Um, I think we all know he killed her, right? I mean, is this up for debate? Something you should be concerned about is U.S. and Russia. Are we going to go back to war over the Ukraine? Let me know. Um, the trains in L.A. Yeah, they took. Yeah, I don't even. So apparently, people are hopping on these. How are they getting this? I heard half the story. How are they getting all these packages off this train? Did the train stop and then they're raiding the trains? I don't know. I don't even know. I do know that here's one thing going on. There are now becoming shortages in my area here in Virginia. Um, so I'm wondering if there are shortages in other places and we're just not hearing about it in the media. Uh, because I always thought this: if you go, oh well, we have shortages of stuff on off the coastline that haven't been drugged in. I think, all right, we're a giant nation. There's a bunch of shit in storage and in warehouses and at both docks, and that's already here sitting in warehouses, right? we're going to need about 1.5 to 2 years to go through all that bullshit before the population, you know what I mean? It's like if America was your house and you went and locked yourself in the house and was like, all right, I got enough food in here for me, my wife, my roommate, and my dog, right? For about X, right? So when I lived in New York and I had a dog, and then I would get supplies before a storm would roll in, like a blizzard, and I'd be like, "All right, Sid, we're going to be here for like 5 days, so get used to it, right? You're not going to go out for like at least a day or two, um, so kind of get used to it." Had enough food for her and enough food for me. You know, we could make it to like the front door, take her to the curb like twice a day, as it kept snowing and snowing and snowing and snowing. But the idea of ordering food in, getting a pizza, those guys couldn't get to work, right? Snowdrift 5 feet high. You eventually will run out of milk first, right? Because you can't freeze milk for your coffee. But after that, you got a ton of canned goods and canned dog food and some fresh dog food. You got water, right? You make sure you got back then. Make sure you had whiskey or two, bottle or two of whiskey. Back then it was Jack from Jameson's for me. Uh, Make sure you called your weed dude. Make sure you had at least enough weed for like a week. And then you sat down with your dog. Wish you had a lady in your life, because then that'd be nice to be snowed in with a lady. I probably have a million kids. Uh, and then you play video games. Yeah, what is going on with my neck? Uh, you play video games. Counter Strike, right? Go in. Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win. Yeah, you play that from like 7 to like 7 a.m. What y'all doing? Oh yeah. Ooh, look out the window. Ooh, it's still snowing here. There's got to be at least 3 feet of snow out there. Oh yeah. I got to go to work. I got to go to bed. All the New York people, no one's going anywhere tomorrow, so they can stay up at night and play video games. Uh, yeah. All right. I got to go to sleep, man. It's 3 in the morning. Take it out later. Go to sleep. Wake up. Look outside. No one's moving. Roads haven't been plowed. Cook some breakfast. Let the dog out to the curb again to pee or whatever. Snow's up to her belly. Right. She can't wait to come back in. You cook yourself something. You watch some bull crap news update about the weather and when things will be plowed and all that good stuff. You go, ah. Just recalling my whole like lockdown. Before then, you go back after like your news update 9 o'clock, after you've eaten something, showered and shaved, or maybe not even shaved, like not probably not even showered, still in your PJs. I will call my mom. Oh, mom, you see the weather? It did snow there. Blah blah blah. Call the family up. Da 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 da. Because we all lived in the Northeast at the time. Uh, then after I call them right about 11, get online and play video games. Right. Stop at about 1 to get the dog out because the dog was on a schedule. She does the same thing. Come back in about 4. Talk to my man. Maybe have something else. Probably blow a J or something. Coffee. I drink a lot of coffee back then. To get back online, play more video games. Look up. Oh my God, it's 3 o'clock. Right? I'll just play for an hour. Sit down, dog's lying on your feet. You look up again, it's 9 at night. Right? Oh, give me a second. Let me walk the dog. Go walk the dog 9 at night for a half an hour. Well, in the summer you go for half an hour. This time you let her out, you let her back in. At about 9:30, 10, you begin drinking and smoking and playing video games. And you play till like 2 in the morning. That was the ritual. That was the ritual. Uh, yeah. I don't even know what to tell you. Don't even know what to tell you. Uh, Watch, rinse, repeat, I guess. This is why I like here on this streamer that I'm using. I was really upset that I could not play video games. It is what it is, what it was. All right. We've been streaming for 45 minutes. I guess that's where we're gonna end it. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, Dr. G. Happy Healthy Friday, all. The train in LA. Wait, so I'm assuming you talked about the thank you, man. Thank you. We're gonna be back. We've been doing it every other day. Like I said, we're gonna be on I'm supposed to be on again, I was supposed to be on Twitch today, but we're not busting our humps. You know what I've been doing a lot of? Guitar playing. I've showed you my guitar book. Oh, first of all, like and subscribe, everybody. I was gonna get somebody to do a Chiron for me at Fiverr. I decided against it. So here's my Twitch channel. Here's my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. You can freeze the camera and get a link of that. Yeah, I've got this little book of guitar wisdom I've been collecting. I should show you some of the stuff that's in it. All right, so if you asked me what page what was for, I could tell you all of it. First of all, we know this, right? This is the musical scale. This is what I was when I first started. I was trying to figure out where the is it the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know how to describe what I was looking for. What I was trying to figure out, but what I know what it is now. What it is there's a five octaves per string. So my E string, the fifth octave on my fifth G string on my my A string is an E, right? So it's how they tune it. It's weird like that. It's a fourth string, which is. But when I was first doing it, I was like, why is there two E's and what is the thing? Palm muting. I never got around to. That's why the giant thing is empty. There's a whole bunch of chords in here, stuff that I should learn. Hammer on, pull off, slides, bend nose, right? So, I mean, the beginning of this book is all over the place because I was beginning. It's all over the place. And then it begins, oddly enough, to get some structure like this. This is the first thing I sat down and I was like, all right, I'm going to organize this thing. Order of sharps and order of flats. And then it began to just freaking take off on me. Right? These are all the chords I should know. But I looked it up. I know about like 7 of them. Minor pentatonic blues boxes. I should know the major E, A, D, G, and the alternate G, the C, the A minor, the E minor, the D minor, the B7, the F bar chord, which we were doing today, the C7, the A7, the G7, the E7, the C. This is what I need to look up. The CMA7. The A. See, I thought M is for minor, but what is AMA? Like the suspend. I know what the suspended is for. See, I'm also lost in some of like my intervals. You know what I mean? So I wrote this down. Actually, I wrote this down today. All right. So this is what I'm talking about. FAM7 D7, right? My handwriting is atrocious. Chord progressions, popular chord progressions, treble clef, bass clef, alto clef. Every good boy deserves fans and cash. Right? Remember that? Circle of fourths, circle of fifths, the circle of thirds. I actually have that here. Look at this. This is my circle of thirds, right? There's my circle of fourths with a little diagram, right? Here's my circle of fifths. So I get up. In the old days, I would get up and I would game crazily. Now I get up and I piddle around and I find stuff on the internet and I go, ooh, and I write it down like this. I wrote this down this morning when I should have been. It's a way to travel the neck in the pentatonic scale, which I learned, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with it. And it's been funny because what happens is learning this shit myself, right? I found all this stuff, and I was like, I don't know what this is. And I don't know what that. Oh, this makes sense. Oh, I should learn this. What is that? I don't know what this is. Oh, maybe I know what that is. And then all these months later, I'm like, oh, I kind of remember watching this and not getting it, but now it sort of makes sense. Oh, this totally makes sense. Oh, I remember when I didn't know what that was. I totally got that. And so this is kind of like what I'm doing. I'm sort of like grabbing, kind of like I'm sure if I had a teacher, I'd be more structured. It might be less fun. But I feel like I'm finding shit on my own, which is fine. Plus, I have a homie who plays guitar. He's been playing since he was a boy. So he's got all this practical knowledge and he's happy to just kind of like drop some wisdom on me. But it really is just fun, like looking up stuff. I feel like when I look up recipes and stuff, like talk to my mom about recipes or cooking, and then just kind of fall down a rabbit hole of stuff. I will buy the stupid trinket thing that you can only use once in the kitchen. That's me, right? But part of the things that I like about trying stuff is crawling the minutia. It should be fun, right? If you paint, use a lot of colors, right? Be bold. Why paint fruit? Paint, I don't know, paint something else. Uh, I don't know. Stop doing everything like everyone else does stuff. Once you get in, and mind you, I'm not selling you records or going to be teaching at universities, right? At this stage of the game, it should be fun. It shouldn't be stressful. So whatever you get into, start cooking again. It should be fun. It shouldn't be stressful. If it's stressful, you're doing it wrong, right? It should be to take the stress out of your whole deal, right? I mean, if I wanted stress, I will go back to talking about politics 24/7. All right. So thank you, Smooth Panic, for the birthday wishes. We are about to wrap this up. Please like and subscribe. Here's my details. We're gonna bring this party over to Twitch probably sooner rather than later. When I say sooner rather than later, make up for me not doing it today. Today was supposed to be today, but I think we're gonna be streaming by like tomorrow. Um, Video games. Yeah. Woohoo! Happy birthday to me. All right. Um also, nah. All right. Uh also, today is Friday. It's your weekend. You should not waste it. We've got snow here uh coming in. Take a walk on the snow. Stop using, as long as it's not thundering and lightning ding 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 ding, you're waterproof. Like go grab an umbrella, go take a walk in the rain. Uh be safe, right? But I'm just saying, don't let the weather frighten you. If it's gonna be a little chilly, freaking grab a hat and some mittens. Stop being so delicate. If it's gonna be hot, again, grab an umbrella. Keep the sun off you, but get out there. Um, yeah, get some fresh air in your lungs. Maybe stay a few more than 6 feet from the next person. But don't be so happy to cede all this ground to these people who want you to be miserable, and then they can sell you a pill or put you on a program to ensure your happiness for a small fee per week for the rest of your days, right? There's ways around them and there's ways around that. And a lot of it is trying to capture what you let go as we get older and grow up. You know what I mean? Maybe I used to love to draw. I'm sort of trying to make room for that again. Oddly enough, a lot of it has to do with this book, right? Instead of drawing, I do a lot of small sketches in this book. Here's another one. Right? I get out some colored pens, I get all little and it doesn't take me long, but it still makes me happy that I sketched out, painted, not really painted, but drew something. Right? Look at all the colors in this thing. Right? So this is the first book. 6 months in, this is the first book of music. I got to make another one. I thought I did for the piano. I guess I did not. Is there anything here This was supposed to be a short story. Where's the other one? La 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 la. Is that it down there? That's it down there. Yeah, yeah. So it should be fun. It should be a mess. If you want the woodwork and you don't know how to start with chopsticks and toothpicks and some glue and some, just get in like we used to say in the hood. Get in where you fit in, right? So yeah, just stick your foot in the door and give it a shot. Uh, you'll be how nice it is to have something else occupy your mind other than stressful this and stressful that and this politics and this idiot boss and that this it's something that will brighten your whole deal. Um and take some of the stress away, right? And that's really what you want to do. Uh, yeah. So thank you, Dr. G, for wishing me a happy birthday. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. What is this Bleacher Report link in the chat, Brian? What's that? What is this? Let's click. Oh boy, what is it? I don't like the fact that you can't click on it and just have it pop open. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to copy. There you go. All right. Let's put this here. NFL updates COVID protocols. First of all, the NFL is not serious about their COVID protocol. All right, because Aaron Rodgers was sick for like literally one day. He sit out and was allowed to play. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. All right, so yeah, so I am ending this early. Actually, we did an hour and 15 minutes, and we have so we did more than an hour actually. No, we didn't do more than an hour. The show's about an hour and 50 minutes. We did 45 minutes, which is good. We did 45 minutes. It's supposed to be the original show was called 20 minutes or so, and the or so was always so the show was designed to do more than 20 minutes, and we always did more. I remember the shortest show we did when Haps went down. It was, I want to say it was a 8-minute show, and we came immediately right back. Remember that? And I think the longest show we did was 5 hours. Those were the days. Those were the days. We may get some of that kind of energy back. It was good energy. It was really good energy. Learned a lot about playing the guitar and how to stream, um, how to be here all the time. So we're gonna start that again. I got to work on my bar chords and my songwriting ability, so I can write corny love songs to girls in balconies and squelch at the appropriate times, like not Biggie, like Biz Markie. Oh baby, you got what I need. Oh my God, that song still makes me smile. Yeah, rest in peace. That song. And it just kept getting funnier. See, that was the magic of hip hop back then. You could have like a comedy song, but the guy wasn't a clown. Uh Now everything's about, murder, 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 murder in my fancy car in my fancy shoes. I hate to sound like an old guy now, but I don't know what happened to them. I don't know what happened to the music, young people. But I don't blame you because you got it from us, right? Just like uh I give my dad props for the music he used to play around the house when we were kids before we were old enough to pick our own music. Like Ray Charles is a genius. Still love Ray Charles to this day. All right, so that's it for me. I want to thank all of you for coming through. I want to thank you for the birthday well wishes and the greetings. I'll be back later. Where have you been, Brian? That is a really good question. I hope you're all right. I hope you're well. You're probably driving home from work. Biz, thanks for showing love in the chat. See what happened? That's the clock telling me it's time to start the show. But we started the show an hour ago. Uh, not an hour ago. Well, yeah, we started the show at 6:45. Quick wrap up. When I started this thing, it was from 4, and we'd go to like 7, 8, 9 often. Then I was like, all right, we're gonna do from 6 to like 10. Then I was like, all right, we're gonna go move it back from 5 to like 7. So now it rests at like 7 to 8. And because I was like, we don't need to do 3 hours a night. Talk politics 3 hours a night, right? I could game 3 hours a night like this. Um, so the new mode is now we may change this thing to 4 o'clock for the new year to try uh and sort of fish in new waters, so to speak. We're also going to do most of it on Twitch where we can game. Because I know a lot of gamers. I like to actually get them because every time we use the split screen here, the resolution is not good. And there's a lot of I love games, and there's a lot of games I think some of you would really love to watch me play. That'd be really good. It might inspire you to get back into gaming. But all right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, that is it for me. I am your birthday boy. I am True S Armor. Please like, boing, and subscribe. True S Armor on YouTube and Karma Armor on Twitch TV. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for coming through. Uh, We're gonna be here tomorrow on Saturday. Yeah, why not? Uh, have a good Friday. Enjoy it. Have a rocking Saturday. Try and get some oxygen in your lungs. Like I said, these weekends are your weekends. You should use them and not just like hide from the work week, right? You should use them to make sure you make memories for yourself because your boss is getting enough out of you, right? These weekends are yours. Do something with them. Uh, I am gonna get with you next time and next time tomorrow.